It's really important that parents who want 12 to 15-year-old children vaccinated should be able to get access to those vaccines for their children. And it's really important that where these protests are taking place and causing problems, that the police should be able to act swiftly. And that's why we are saying that for a temporary period, while we're in this COVID situation, we would want to see the law strengthened so that if necessary, and I hope it won't be, the police could apply these sort of buffer zones around schools if needed.
How would they be policed? We'd want people arrested?
Well, only if they're committing crimes, obviously. No, these are about actually being able to prevent activity at school gates. It's not about catching criminals after the event. It's about stopping activity that is causing concern at school gates. And I'm not saying that they will be needed in every case, by no means. But it's important that we have the full range of legal measures to make sure that children can get in and out of school peacefully and safely, and that where there are parents wanting their children to be vaccinated, of course, they can have those vaccines.
And Kate, it's 8 in 10 schools. That's a high number, isn't it, that have experienced this so far?
Well, we've heard different reports of the numbers of schools around the country. We don't want it happening at any school, but it's certainly of concern that that this is taking place at school gates, both causing concern, causing some alarm, but also spreading misinformation. And, you know, schools are the places where we want children to learn the facts and really to be given accurate information. And it's absolutely disgraceful that people are coming to school gates and spreading this misinformation in front of children.
You could be forgiven, though, for wondering where on earth we are with any of these things. I mean, take your party, for example, calling yesterday for the reintroduction of Plan B in terms of COVID, and that was a flip-flop from a decision taken last week where we were calling the opposite. People are very confused. Are politicians helping?
I don't think it's the opposition that's causing the confusion. There are things that are in Plan B that we think should be in Plan A, things like mask wearing, like working at home where you can. But we also think Plan B on its own isn't enough. We need things like the ventilation systems being put into public buildings, including in schools, which still hasn't happened. What we are seeing now is an alarming rise in the spread of infection. Experts saying that they believe Plan B should be implemented because, of course, we don't want to get into a situation where, as we go further into winter, the NHS comes under unmanageable pressure or that we don't, again, have the kind of Christmas that families are looking forward to. So I think it is time to listen to the experts. Again and again, what we've seen with this government is they don't act until too late, and then we have to act much harder. Let's not make the same mistake. Let's learn from our earlier experiences.
Well, one thing the government does seem to be preempting is the budget. We seem to know an awful lot of what's in it already.
A lot of? Sorry, I couldn't hear there.
The budget. We seem to be pre-warned about much of what we're going to hear on Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we seem, bits and pieces being dripped out every few hours, it would seem. What we really need is to hear the whole budget statement announced by the Chancellor in Parliament on Wednesday, because what we're getting is cherry picking. We're getting half the story. We're being told about money that might be new money or might just be money that we already knew about being announced again. This is no way to announce a budget. What we need is a proper statement to Parliament so that we can properly scrutinise what the government is doing. I know in the case of education, for example, which clearly is my main interest, that we've seen massive real terms cuts to colleges, to schools over the past 10 years, to early years. So these piecemeal announcements aren't really telling us whether we're going to have the kind of resources we need for our education system, or all we're getting is little bits of cherry picking that are not the whole picture.
Kate Green, good to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.